This is Brittany from What's Next to Success, and I just stopped on by. First of all, this activity that I'm about to do is a new part of the journey. So let me see what kind of filters that Facebook has. I never did Facebook Live before. So anybody who follows me on Instagram knows that I love these filters. So let's see what we're going to do right now. I should have did this before I started, right? But it's all good. Maybe we'll do the flowers. Yeah, let's do the flower template, because today I'm going to be talking about being intentional with your healing. And hopefully, you know, somebody will let me know that I'm doing this right, so I'm not just talking. So if anybody catches my live, just put down below that you can see me and everything is going good. Well, I think it is, because it says finish down below. So I'm just going to trust the universe is going to guide me through this and that we are all good. So, hey, this is Brittany from What's Next to Success, and I just stopped on by this lovely Thursday evening to just share something that Spirit was just talking to me over the last couple days. So those of you who know me, those of you who don't, I am Brittany from What's Next to Success, and today's topic is going to be about relationships, all different types of relationships. And I am not a person who believes that I know it all. I do a lot of research, and I speak a lot from my own experiences. Just really briefly, I'm 39 years old, and I have one child who is 20, and I am an entrepreneur and a friend and a partner, and I have a few different other titles. And so in these interactions, I have relationships or lack of relationships in some of the areas of my family. So Spirit told me I'm very private when it comes to certain parts of my life. I'm starting to learn how to be more transparent, because a few years ago, I just really had this moment where I realized that one of my purposes here on this earth in this time was to be able to be of service to others. And in doing that, I want to be able to become as strong as I can be, to make sure that I'm always taking care of myself first, so I can continue to heal and grow, so I can be able to be a healthy service to others and not just, you know, giving out negative energies and negative vibes. So Spirit told me today to be transparent, even though I've been sitting with this for a couple days. So I said, you know what? I do a lot of journaling. Let me just get on here and share a little bit about what is going on in my mind right now. So I just want you to take a moment and, I want you to just take a moment and just remember, for all my older people, well, first, I just want to say that What's Next Success was created to help individuals become entrepreneurs. And part of entrepreneurship for me was healing, because I had so many different blockages that would prevent me from being able to achieve money and in a healthy way, and be able to obtain it and keep it flowing in and out. So I had to participate in my own healing. And so that's why I created What's Next to Success a couple years ago, to help individuals. And it very specifically originated from me being a person who grew up in a certain area where there was a lot of prostitution, a lot of people who were incarcerated, a lot of poverty-stricken activities, a lot of lack, a lot of negative energy. So a few years back, Spirit has spoke to me and told me that, Brittany, part of I am a cosmetologist. I am a full-time cosmetologist, and I own a salon. And me and my partner, we own a salon. And a few years back, like even before I became a cosmetologist, I wanted to be a counselor. So I thought, and I started college to do so. So, in me being a cosmetologist, I get to be service to others. So I like to share. I'm starting to become more comfortable with sharing these things as, you know, has transpired in my life to, you know, inspire and just hopefully, you know, being able with my own experiences and experiencing of the What's Next successful ally community, that we can just come together as women, men, as humans, as people here just trying to figure it all out, especially when we're just consistently born into these situations and we just have to learn how to save our own lives. And along the way, we do a lot of positive and we do a lot of negative. So we causing pain along the way to ourselves and others. So those elements will keep you stuck. So Spirit told me today to get on here, and you know, I like to listen to my mind and my spirit. So I want you to just take a moment and just remember when you were about 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. And if any of you had any type of adversity growing up, any type of traumas, any type of lack, any type of parents that didn't have the skills to be able to teach you in a healthy way, like me. If you remember when you were young and you just felt lost and confused or abandoned by your family or your parents, just take a moment. And the reason why is because I really had to take a moment recently and just reflect in order for me to let a lot of feelings and resentment go that I was holding on to, and to continue to let it go. So you just want to take a moment and just remember how immature you were, how much anxiety you probably had from trying to figure yourself out and trying to figure the world out. You know, sometimes I look at small babies, children, 1, 2, 3 years old, and I see them as somebody who's needing their whole, and I'm trying to get through this without crying, y'all, because it's not just about me. And I just wanted to share this message because it's not just about me. But I am an emotional Cancer, and you'll get to know that, and it's all good. I ain't trying to let the whole world see me drop a tear, though. Well, it ain't the whole world on here now, but we're going to manifest the whole world watching my videos, okay? Okay, so then I know at least somebody's getting inspired. So you just want to take a moment, just remember how fucked up in the mind you were as a teenager, you know, especially if you're in these situations where you're just trying to figure it all out. Don't add on trying to take care of a child or trying to take care of, you know, just go back to your teenage self and just think about how immature you were. So now I'm going to relate that to parenting, because sometimes, myself included, huge epic fail when it came to myself. I had a child at 19. That wasn't the epic fail. That was the fortunate part. It's amazing to birth children. However, the unamazing part is not planning and making sure that you have the resources. And if you don't have the resources to have children, being mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, then maybe we shouldn't have children. And I'm not saying that anybody who has kids now shouldn't have it. But if you have the opportunity to be without children and to plan it out and to make sure you in the best mindset that you can be, because if not, there is high probability that you will, you know, instill some negative shit in your kids because you the one raising them. So in my attempt, or in my part of my journey of self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-accountability, so I can continue to be strong, because no matter what, happens in your life, you still here and you still got to live. So what you going to do with that space? Are we going to continue to make the same mistakes, or are we going to see if we can figure it out? And I truly believe that in that part of my journey of figuring it out, that I'm supposed to be transparent within reason, within my own boundaries, with the possibility of being able to inspire somebody else or help somebody in their healing process, or just a simple, you fucking matter no matter what your mistakes were. Just give yourself a hug and be kind to yourself, because we here all, remember, just trying to figure it out in this space. So what we gonna do with that? So tonight's topic is relationships, and my spirit told me to share, because in your healing process, you want to become more grounded and take accountability and grow. I highly suggest that. So as we're healing from the lifestyle of prostitution, the traumas that we experience, being incarcerated, suffering from PTSD, anxiety, as we're healing from, in my situation, lost a parent early, had some sexual abuse happen to me when I was younger. Didn't have parents that had the resources financially, spiritually, emotionally to, just be the most positive. However, in the healing process, I have learned to forgive them, forgive myself, and to know that they were working with what they got, because, like I said before, we all out here just trying to figure it out with the same shit, doing the same stuff. So, I want to become more mature in my close relationships. I want to become more healthier in my interactions. Don't you? If you want to become healthier, you came to the right place. Because we're going to do the law of giving and receiving. We're going to interact with each other with kindness and love on this page. We can create a successful support group of successful allies, so we can become more mature in our close relationships with ourselves and others. So we can become stronger in the areas of self-awareness and assess ourselves and make changes where they need to be. I know for me, aggression, reacting in an aggressive manner has been one of the hardest, most important activities that I can possibly continue to learn, and hopefully one day be all the way healed from it, because I hate that shit. The aftermath of that is not good, because it causes me to cause pain to people that I truly love, and it takes away from the action part of love, and it teaches those around you that love, especially my child or your children, will grow up and see that love is a negative way. So I always, in the more recent years, have been very fond of breaking generational curses. And, I'm not a person who jumps on like the fads and the sayings out here. However, I grew up around that, and I don't like the aggression and, the certain aspects of the inner city lifestyle that, we're taught these negative ways. And it has caused me to lose people in my life, reacting in immature ways. And, people that are really close to me, people that I really love. So we ain't trying to do all of that. We're trying to grow, because sometimes relationships come back around, and when they do, you want to be ready. Let me plug this phone up. If and when they do, we want to be ready. So, becoming overly emotional off when I'm feeling anxiety, having expectations on what I felt like the relationship should look like or turn out to be, or, how it should be going. And I had my mentor the other day tell me that No one doesn't owe you shit, not even your kids. Yeah, maybe you want them to respect you and all of that, but they don't owe you anything. The only person that truly, truly is responsible for anything for you, and I'm learning this as well, and we can keep talking about this as time goes on, is yourself. That's the only person that's truly responsible for you, is yourself. And I choose to live in the computer makes it lighter. We're going to leave that light on. I choose to live in a cocoon state because I have realized that the most important relationships to me, I've caused pain in, and I ain't trying to do that. So I'm, just staying to myself, working on myself, getting on my what's next page, just focusing on my business, focusing on my brand, focusing on my purpose, so I can move past the pain that I cause others. Because if they do choose to ever come back towards me, then I'll be ready, because we ain't trying to live like that. So, somebody said to me the other day that I lack the ability to overcome. And, I got pissed off and I felt some type of way about it, because I'm like, you're right. So I brought that point up because as you continue to learn yourself and you start to learn about yourself and you're self-reflecting and you're doing your work and you're doing your shadow work and all of that, you'll start to build self-esteem, and you'll start to build self-affirmations and tools that you'll have that will help you take care of yourself in your journey. So, in saying that, when these people in your life, especially if they are your children and they're younger, they would love to believe that they are the most mature, most intelligent, and even though they probably are super smart and all of that, they have not had the opportunity to live life, and they do not understand to the fullest capacity, because even us at 39 and 40 do not understand to the fullest capacity of what this thing called life is. And especially when you're young and you got a lot of immaturity and you don't know where to put your feelings, you got big feelings. And I'm really trying my hardest to become diligent in continuing to heal, because when your children grow up, if they decide to come back towards you, or your family grows up, or, your people decide to come back towards you, you want to be ready. You don't want to be, I would highly suggest for myself, and I'm putting it out there because that's the way I like to manifest. And if we could just, manifest as a collective, we would like to believe that if we continue to grow, we will not be the same aggressive people. We will not be the same people that, was out there in that street life. We would not be the same people that have to fight for everything tooth and nail. We got to fight our kids. We got to fight the man. We got to fight the wife. We got to fight all of that to get to the next phase. We can fall into our femininity. We can become better mothers. We can become better listeners. We can be less petty. We can be less jealous. We can be less competitive. We can be less argumentative if we just continue to heal. And it is imperative that we do that. And I'm speaking this for myself out into the universe so I can become aligned with that type of energy. It is important that we do that, because first of all, we want to live for yourself. You want to live. You don't want your story to stop at, I used to be a fucking prostitute. You don't want your story to stop at, I used to sell drugs. I did 15 years in jail. My kids don't talk to me. You don't want to stop at, I didn't have the freaking tools to raise my child. So as an adult, they They hate you. You don't want to stop at that because they 16, 17, 15, 18, 19 years old, speaking to myself, speaking out in the universe, speaking it to you, sharing this with you. They don't understand everything. They can't see that far right now. They just trying to figure it out. So we want to become more mature adults. All right, we fucked our kids up. We messed the relationship up that we had because we were still lying. We had to, we couldn't be the best husband. We couldn't be the best wife because we still thinking that we got to fucking be a sneaker, lie, whatever to survive. I get it. I get it. Your man won't talk to you. Your husband won't talk to you. You got to divorce. Your kids disowned you. I understand. Because I deal with it on a daily of the aftermath of the lifestyle of prostitution, of the aftermath of growing up with lack and no parenting, of the aftermath of choosing a drug dealer to have a kid with, of the aftermath of being a single mother at 19. I got to deal with it. Of the fucking being 39 and really in all reality, just probably becoming 25. Let's speak on that for a minute. So I'm 39 years old and I feel like I'm probably about 30 right now. And when it comes to my emotions, I'm probably about 25 because I still have temper tantrums. And I think 25 years old is when you start to really get to the other side, unless you just really mature. But if you grew up in any type of lifestyle like I grew up around, you ain't that mature because unless you did some healing and until you have arrived in that area, and you know what, you never arrive. You're always 1 second away from a meltdown. So you better keep them tools in your toolbox in your face. Because when I don't, I be fucking up. So you want to get it together because you don't want your story to end there. So when they come back around, if they come back around, because time does heal, it does. And then when they get out there and they live a little bit, the hope is that they see and then when they come back around, though, you got to be able to show up because you know what? I caused pain in relationships and people would come back around and I would still be the same person. And then they would go again. But for some reason, I don't feel like doing that no more. So I'm just going to choose to stay away until I feel like I'm mature enough to deal with whatever comes my way in certain areas with certain people. Because the real desire is for them to come back around, right? So you can have your family, so you can have your friends, maybe get a good partner. Or even if you get none of those people back, your future relationships, you don't want to continue down the path of that. You want to become independent, but you still want people in your life, that you can love and you can give and receive love and you can have interactions with, and you want to have positive interactions, right? So hopefully on my very first Facebook Live, I shared something with you all. And, drop me a couple comments in the bottom below. What are some things that you feel like you can work on? What are some things that you feel like are great about yourself that you can enhance or you can focus on? And I am a true believer, and I don't always get it right in this area, but because I'm human and having an experience, and I be wrong a lot. So I be wrong sometimes, right? I don't get it. I don't always get it, right? But I'm a firm believer that there's a power in thought and power in your words and your actions, right? So I believe that we can focus on becoming more positive and align ourselves with that frequency, because your family or your friends or your job or your self-love, all of that, you have to be aligned with a positive frequency. If you want a negative frequency, that positive stuff going to stay over there. Going to be like, you stink over there. We don't want to come over there. We don't want to come over there. So the true desire today, and this is what I was told in my mind and my spirit today to come and share with you all. And my spirit was like, you know what? Do something new, Brittany. Get on Facebook Live. Man, I remember when I couldn't even get on a video. All right, well, I'm not going to talk y'all head off anymore. I just want to say this. You want to continue to heal. You want to continue to heal for yourself first and then for your people. And then also, if it's not a situation where you hurt somebody else, maybe it was a situation where someone hurt you. and you want to just become stronger in yourself and grounded in your foundation to be able to have boundaries and protect yourself when they come back around in a healthy way. So that's also a thing too. So until next time, I hope you like my videos. Like, share, and subscribe, and join the conversation. I have created What's Next to Success to hopefully partner with some other successful